our virtual naturalization celebration. My name is Jason Disbrow. I am your Superior Court Judge here in Brunswick County, and I'm honored to take part in this celebration today. I was just told right before we went live that this is the only live event that we're doing for the virtual celebration, so there's added pressure right before I went on camera. But that's okay. I want to first thank Randy Jones and Tricia Howard. They are the co-chairs of our North Carolina 4th of July Festival. They are actually here with me today. Go ahead. Yes, Karen, show them. They have done a remarkable job along with the committee. They have literally had to spin on a dime, pivot on a dime in a matter of months to go from a live events to virtual events. They've done a remarkable job, so I encourage you to look at all the events on the website, on Facebook, on the North Carolina 4th of July Festival webpage. The naturalization ceremony is truly my favorite event for the 4th of July Festival. I certainly miss it. I know many folks miss it this year also, but I'm glad that we are continuing to celebrate it with a virtual event. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to speak at the actual naturalization ceremony. It was a remarkable event, and for some reason I saved my speech from 2 years ago, not knowing that we would be shut down 2 years later. But I just want to give you a little snippet of that speech that I spoke 2 years ago, actually today. And this is, I'll give you about a 2-minute snippet. I don't pretend to know how you feel. If I'm being honest, I often take my status as a U.S. citizen for granted. I suppose I do that because I'm one of the lucky ones in this world that just so happened to win life's lottery. I did nothing for it. I was born in the freest nation on the face of the earth to the greatest set of parents a child could dream of. I have a strong sense that many of my fellow citizens would say the same thing. But I also realize that my freedom is far from free. President Ronald Reagan once said, interestingly enough, at a naturalization ceremony in Detroit in 1984, fortunately for our folks, we get to celebrate it in beautiful Southport. You've joined a country that has been called the least exclusive club in the world, with the highest dues. Although I never met him, my grandfather, my personal hero, fought and died in World War II. He and countless men and women have paid the highest dues for our freedom. Our freedom has immeasurable cost. Our nation was founded by men and women who were keenly aware of the cost of our freedom. But I doubt few would know the cost of freedom better than you Americans who have taken the oath today. And on that particular day, there were 38 countries represented, and I believe there were 78 individuals who were sworn in as new Americans. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a little pop quiz. These are actual questions from the citizenship test that every individual has to take before becoming naturalized. And Randy Jones is here. He has the questions for me that I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to pause and give you 10 seconds for those of you watching this at home online, if you'd like to play along and answer, and there will be a prize at the end. I'll tell you what it is when we get there. So the first question, what is the supreme law of the land? And I'll give you a hint. It's very near and dear to me as a judge. So we'll give you a few seconds to answer that, to type in your answer. Do you have any answers? No answers. Okay, well, I'm going to give you the answer. The Constitution. Yay. That's probably an easy one. All right, the next question. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? We're starting off easy. We're easing into this.
You're getting some thumbs up and hearts, though.
Thumbs up and hearts. Okay, we need answers, folks, not thumbs up and hearts. The answer is the Bill of Rights. That's the first 10 amendments in the Constitution. Next question. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Again, this is very relevant to where we are in our country today. These are not meant to be controversial questions. These are simply questions that are on the citizenship test.
We do have one that says, how does one become an American citizen?
Oh, we don't have enough time in this Facebook Live to go through that. So the question is, what is one's right or freedom from the First Amendment? Trish?
Free speech.
Very good. So we have speech, religion, assembly, press,
Bear arms.
petition the government.
Freedom of speech came across.
Very good. Next question. How many amendments does the Constitution have? This is a tough one. This is a tough one. So we'll see if we can get some answers. It's kind of unfair because the answers are in the room, so people are whispering amongst themselves. All right, so the answer is 27 amendments. Randy, you didn't know that, did you? It's okay. Lots of folks don't. I wouldn't have known if I didn't go to law school. What did the Declaration of Independence do?
Oh, on the previous one, someone did answer 27. I think there's a delay.
Excellent. Okay, good.
So
So the Declaration of Independence, it announced or declared our independence from Great Britain. The next question. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? It's asking you for two. There's actually three. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Like happiness.
What do we call the economic system in the United States? Trish is whispering answers. That would be a capitalist economy or a market economy, a free market economy. What is the quote-unquote rule of law? How would you define the rule of law? So here's how you would define that. Everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law. Government must obey the law. And no one is above the law. And I can hear the comments just rolling after that one. I can hear them now. Again, these are questions on the citizenship test. Name one branch or part of the government. How about name your favorite part? I'll give you a hint, there's three. And I have one favorite part, I'm partial. So you've got the executive branch.
Judicial.
They're trying to get brownie points, give them the judicial branch. Executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Three separate but equal parts of our government. What are the two parts of the United States Congress?
The responses are just a little bit delayed on here, so.
Okay, that's
Take
fair.
more time.
I'll try to be more delayed in my answer. So the two parts of Congress are the Senate and the House of Representatives. Now this is a good question. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? And the answer is because the state's population. So the more people you have, the more representatives you have. Which gives me time for our first shameless plug. If you have not filled out your census, go to 2020census.gov and you can fill out your census online. The reason that is important is because we need to account for everyone in our population, because for government services, you get more funding, and maybe you get enough new population where you get a new representative. I'm not sure everybody would be happy about that with more government, but that's the bottom line, that we need to account for everybody within our state, within our community. So if you haven't taken it, I've taken the census, I did it online. It doesn't take very long, it's really easy. So 2020census.gov. That's the first and probably last shameless plug that we'll have to. So our next question. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? Give you a moment. There are actually a number, and I'm just going to give you a few that we have here on our card. So provide schooling and education. That's within the state's prowess. Provide protection, police protection. Provide safety, fire departments, EMS workers. Give a driver's license, provide driver's license. And approve zoning and land use. That all falls within the purview of the state or your local government, your local entity. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. Trish, do you know one?
19th Amendment.
Very good.
Women's right to vote.
And we'll actually be celebrating that later today, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got citizens 18 and older can vote. You don't have to pay to vote. That's important. Any United States citizen above the age of 18 can vote. And a citizen of any race can vote. What is one reason colonists came to America? That's our next question. Give me one reason why the colonists came to America. It's not in your history books, but a lot of them came because of Southport. I think we all know that.
Yes.
Things you didn't learn in U.S. history. So they came for freedom, political liberty, and not just some freedom. Religious freedom was a big driver of the colonists coming. Economic opportunity to practice their religion, which again goes to the religious freedom, and to escape the persecution of Great Britain.
We've had a question.
Yes?
Do you have to be able to speak English to become a citizen?
No, you do not have to be able to speak English to become a citizen. You do not. There were 13 original states. Name 3. I'll spot you one. we live in one of them. I'm spotting you one. You only need to name 2. And if you go around the border of North Carolina, you probably forget 2 more. All right, so you've got New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, my home state, New Jersey, which some people would call another country, that's fair, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Those were the 13 original states. And here's our last question. What did Susan B. Anthony do? She fought for women's rights, fought for civil rights. She was one of our original freedom fighters for those rights. So that concludes the portion of our pop quiz here on the citizenship test. I wanted to take this moment. Every new citizen takes the naturalization oath of allegiance to the United States. So I wanted to read that for you all to hear that, and it's an incredible moment. Judge Jones, who is a federal judge out of Wilmington, he typically comes down and gives this oath. He's a federal judge, so an immigration is a federal policy, so it falls under the purview of the federal judiciary. So I would not give this oath for you to know, but I thought it's important for individuals to hear this oath. So this is the oath of allegiance to the United States of America that new citizens take. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. I think that's an awesome allegiance for all of us to hear. I think it's important to remember that these individuals who become citizens are every bit as much of Americans as someone like me, who was 47 years old, who was born into this country, again, without having to do anything for it. These individuals fight hard to become Americans. They have hope, they see opportunity, they have dreams, and they see the greatness that is America. As we celebrate our birthday tomorrow, as we celebrate it this weekend, let's remember our greatness. Let's focus on the greatness of America. Happy 4th of July to all of you out there in Facebook land, and God bless America. Thanks for tuning in.